Good evening. Thank you for joining us for another virtual town hall. Today is Monday, April 13th. Thank you for joining us. As of today, we are now at 6,975 cases in Ohio with 32 cases here in the county. Uh, your work on taking basic protective measures is working. It's clear evidence by the updated model that demonstrates that our collective efforts are working. We are flattening the curve. What we do matters, what we do now matters, and will continue to have an impact down the road on how we'll weather through this pandemic and the final numbers. So thank you for all that you're doing, and please continue to take all basic protective measures. While we have not heard of new cases here in Yellow Springs, it is important that we act as if COVID-19 is widespread throughout our village, and we must behave as if we're all carriers, regardless of signs and symptoms. And we must continue to do our part to protect our neighbors, our friends, and our families. Our thoughts are with all of our residents who are experiencing symptoms and are concerned for their safety and health. Just a reminder that the stay-home order is in effect through May 1st, and we continue to take initiatives here in Yellow Springs to limit density and encourage individuals to practice physical distancing. I want to turn your attention to a new initiative by the Department of Mental Health, the Strive to 5 initiative. This is where we encourage everyone to connect with 5 people, friends, family, or neighbors, each day for 30 days. This could be done via phone or video. And here's a video from Governor DeWine on this subject.
Let me turn to a separate effort that is being put forward by Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services Director Lori Acton. She's launching what we're calling a Strive for 5 challenge. She's asking for everyone to reach out to 5 people every day over the next 30 days by phone, video, chat, email, or on social media. During a time when we have to stay home to be safe, reaching out is more important than ever. By encouraging people to reach out, they're not only reducing feelings of isolation, but that personal connection reduces stress and anxiety as well. So this is a good thing for all of us to try to do, whether we have anybody in a nursing home or do not. There are friends I know who we have not talked to for a while who may be staying home, as most people are today. So reach out to them, use this as an occasion to get back in touch. And we encourage everyone to do that. Let me turn to a separate.
Thank you, Sean, for playing that video, and we thank the governor and his office for promoting this initiative. We think it's important to encourage all of our residents to continue some form of communication and continue the bond that we have with each other. Joining us tonight is Kevin Stokes, council member. Kevin.
Yes, thanks, Josue. And certainly, I don't think we can say enough how important all of the measures that we have all been asked to take, how important and how effective those measures are. I just wanted to say that on behalf of some of the folks in the village that I've heard from, with all the measures that we've taken, there still does appear to be large groups, or what we think are larger groups of folks coming to town to visit. And I don't know how much more control we can have over that, but certainly even to echo something that Chief Carlson said last week, when you see activity like that you think is out of order, it's best to avoid them. So I think it begins with us as individuals, everyone that we know, having our own protective measures, wearing masks, even though the masks are only recommended. I think it's important for each of us as individuals to do that. Then when you do come up on a situation, like crowds, I mean, Yellow Springs is a lovely place to come, and for a period, that was the message we wanted to get out. And folks have that in their minds, and so they're still coming. And I don't want to present an us versus them type of scenario, but we're talking to the village residents now, and we're asking each of us to be vigilant in the responsibilities that are being placed upon us to do our own protection of ourselves and protecting others. And then when we do run into those crowds, they aren't such an issue, but I think we can each do our part, and then it's not as much of an issue as it appears to be. Again, each of us wants to do our part, and we don't want to sound like we're beating a drum over and over, but these measures work, and that's the key message, that the things we're doing, the steps we're taking, they do matter. So each of us does need to do our part. And I think the issue with visitors coming in, or folks we perceive to be visitors, I think that'll tend to take care of itself over time. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. And we will now hear from Fire Chief Colin Altman. Chief, welcome.
Thank you, Josue. Miami Township Fire Chief Colin Altman coming to you live from this beautiful $6.9 million co-op apartment in the Dakota in New York City. Can be yours for $6.9 million. We have been getting some good news actually from Dr. Acton in the daily briefings that the curve is flattened here in Ohio, and the peak may be coming any day now. And I stress may. But we're not out of the woods yet. Excuse me. Even though leading medical experts such as Sean Hannity and Tommy Lahren keep advocating for the reopening of the nation, it's important to realize this isn't going to happen anytime soon, at least here in Ohio. The governor and Dr. Acton have both made it clear that reopening is going to take some time. So to echo what Kevin and Josue have said, it's important that we continue doing what we've been doing. As a community, we've been fantastic with the precautions that we've urged you to take. So while it may kill you softly to have to wear a face mask, please do. It's protecting others from you. It's important. Wash your hands as much as you can. Remember, at least 20 seconds, or the ABC song. And you want a good foaming going on when you wash your hands. Very important. I realize that what you most want to do is to get close to someone else. Not now. 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart is what you still need to maintain until Dr. Acton says not to. Remember to cover your cough and sneeze and stay home. And gloves. You know you want to wear them. You see them in the ER, you see the ambulance people wearing them. Stop it. If you put on your gloves in the morning and you go to work and you wear those all day, the same pair of glove, and you're not changing them, all you're doing is cross-contaminating everything. If you go to the grocery store with your gloves on, touch everything, touch the money, the cash register, all that type of stuff, and then you get back into your car with the gloves on, you've just contaminated your car. So unless you've got a lot of gloves with you, they're not really helping much. So please, we're close to the end, hopefully. So remember, in the words of great songstress Roberta Flack, whose apartment I am coming to you from this evening, the midnight sun is going to come shining through. Sometime soon, we can see it. So be safe, be kind, be hopeful. And as always, if you need us at the fire department, give us a call. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you so much, Colin. And we will now hear from Police Chief Brian Carlson.
Good evening. Thank you, Josue. I hope everyone is doing well. To reiterate Chief Altman's words, I just want to remind us all that it is so very important now more than ever that we continue our efforts to maintain our physical distancing and our personal efforts to protect ourselves and those around us. I also want to remind everyone, please never, ever, ever hesitate to contact the Yellow Springs Police Department should you have questions or need assistance, or perhaps you or a loved one would like to see us drive by outside of your window, reminding you that we are here for you 24 hours a day. Our dedicated dispatchers are always at the ready and happy to help in any way possible. Remember to call us if you need anything, 767-7206. Thanks, everyone. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you, Chief. Also joining us tonight is Kat Walter, Yellow Springs Community Foundation. Kat, you now have the floor, and let me know when you want us to put up your slides.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Josue. I wanted to give a little bit of an update on the surveys that have gone out to the village and soon the township. The neighborhood block contacts have delivered all surveys to households in the village, to your door, under your mat, near the front door. If you have not received a survey, you can fill one out online and they're going to post the information, but it's www.yscf.org/NBC-survey/. You can always fill it out online. The process then is that the NBCs will then be contacting households and delivering surveys, all the township households as well. You can fold it, fill it out, fold it, stamp it, and mail it to YSCF. The contact information for your NBC is on that document, so make sure you get that. And be sure to include your contact information for when you fill out the form. And note the preferred method of contact, whether email or phone. Some people have left that off and we're having a hard time getting in touch with some of the folks. As far as addressing needs, the return survey information will be put into a database that the NBC, the neighborhood block contact, will then access in their area and address those who have filled out immediate needs in whatever area that is. They will contact that household and phone or email, and then offer resources to begin a discussion. And needs are going to vary, but we have a huge list of resources in the village, the township, and the county. And so the NBCs have that. They're prepared now to start contacting people, but it'll probably be a couple days. However, I will say, while the neighborhood block contacts have been getting online into the database, a few of us have already stepped up and started contacting people. At this point, we have attempted to contact or contacted everybody who has mentioned or noted having immediate needs in whatever category that is. For folks who have noted on the survey that they might have needs 2 weeks down the line, the neighborhood block contacts will have that information. They will get in touch with you down the road a little bit as the weeks progress. So we have this information. You can always contact us to update it. You will know who your NBC is and stay in touch with that person. It's very important, especially if you know you're going to have continued or upcoming needs. But you can always get in touch with the Community Foundation at 937-767-2655 or yscf@yscf.org. Thanks.
Kat, thank you so much. And we will now listen from Mayor Pound. Mayor Pound.
Thank you, Josue. One of the things Kat was just stressing through her communication with you was the whole concept of building community. We're networking. We're building community and building off of each other. One of the things we can do to further that is an event that takes place every evening in Yellow Springs at 6 p.m. in front of your house and your driveway. Walking to the end of your driveway for the officially proclaimed Yellow Springs Wave and Shout Out. And I wanted to come on tonight to give you a reminder about this. Officially, it is an official proclamation by the mayor. And I will also point out that we were contacted by the Oakwood mayor who heard about this. And Mayor Duncan, is also starting a neighborhood wave in Oakwood. Why? Because as he said, Yellow Springs started it first and he wanted to copy us. Therefore, 6 o'clock wave and shout out. All it entails is setting your alarm. I know my Alexa helps me every evening. I can't say her name or she'll click on. And she reminds me when it's time to go out front to the end of my driveway for my neighborhood shout out. Sometimes I always take a noisemaker. Sometimes I take my rattle and my maraca. Today, I've usually been taking my meditation bell. I just I've started walking around the block. I've expanded. Sometimes I have neighbors out and sometimes I don't. Now, to that end, I'm going to give a shout out to the folks around the corner in the 400 block of North Winter. There's often a party going on there, not to mention the 200 block of North High. So I've been called out further and further to come investigate other block parties when I hear them. We've got one down in the 100 block of West Whiteman Street. And on Saturday evening, I found someone drumming on the front step of the library at 6 o'clock and in front of Mills Lawn at 6 o'clock. So do what moves you. Walk to the end, give a wave to passing cars, go around your block, get on your bike and ride around the village, as I've been doing on certain nights. And it's fun and you'll connect. And if nothing else, you'll be waving to people and spreading camaraderie, spreading community. So with that in mind, I will say thank you. And I will say back to you, Josue.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pam. And we will now turn to questions. We have a first question, and this is carried over from Friday's virtual town hall. Being at home, a lot of Yellow Springs community members are deep cleaning and leaving out larger amounts of trash than usual. As I saw an article highlighting the trash services are now getting overwhelmed by residential collection due to more people at home, have our local trash delivery service been asked about whether or not our community should stop setting out quantities of bulk trash at this point? That is not an issue here in Yellow Springs. We haven't heard of that being an issue. In fact, we are scheduling an additional pickup this Friday, the 17th, a special lawn pickup. So go get your lawn trash bags at the hardware store, and you can put out additional lawn waste this Friday. So that's an added activity. We heard from many residents who wanted to have their lawn waste picked up, and we're scheduling an additional pickup. So this Friday, the 17th, we schedule that special lawn pickup, and there's also a special pickup next week, which is the 4th Friday of the month. So, all right, the second question, this is directed at the, I'm sorry, Kevin?
Jump in.
Yes.
Yeah, just want to have you reiterate the fact that whereas typically we've been asked to purchase Rumpke bags from the village, did I hear that we could use any yard waste bag, such as what you would typically buy from Home Depot or Lowe's, instead of buying the Rumpke bags from the village?
So Kevin, I'm sorry, then I need to correct that. We still have to use the same Rumpke bags, but
Okay.
what you used to buy from our utility office, you can buy them at the Yellow Springs hardware store. So they're special Rumpke bags.
Okay.
They're about $2.75.
Okay. Just
So you
wanted
can
to be
pick that
clear.
up at Yellow Springs hardware.
Thank you much.
Thank you. The second question, this one's, the next two questions are specifically aimed at the Greene County Public Health, but maybe my colleagues, Chief Carlson and Chief Altman have information on this. Can Greene County Public Health comment on when the peak of infection is estimated to be for Greene County? And once the peak is passed, does that mean that restrictions will begin to ease?
Well, public health is always constantly monitoring the situation here in the county. We are at, I believe it's 32 cases here in the county. And my understanding is that the commissioner and the board there all feel that our peak here locally is close. It's either may have come or maybe coming real soon. The plan, however, is when that comes and passes, we're still going to maintain what we're doing. Restrictions will start being eased once the governor and Dr. Acton make that determination. I believe they are still working on that with local health commissioners on how that's going to work. If it'll be regionally, depending on different areas and how things go. So I'd say stay tuned for information about that. But just because things seem okay here in Greene County doesn't mean that we can start disregarding what we've been doing.
Thank you, Chief. Here's another question. Can village officials in Greene County Public Health give their recommendation for participating in drive-by parades for birthdays and other celebrations? The Montgomery County Health Director has said they violate the stay-home order.
That's correct, Josue. Bert, drive-by celebrations or anything is considered non-essential travel. Look at it like this. If you are leaving your home for any reason other than food, medical, or drugs, it would be considered non-essential. I know that that's been confusing because the governor has left some of the state parks to remain open, but they've adjusted that message explaining to stay local and get outside. So we strongly urge everyone to just kind of hang on. This is going to be a little bit longer than what we've expected, but at the same time appears to be maybe not quite as long. And we'll get through this. I think America will be changed forever from this. I think that protocols in public will be changed forever. And for now, please, I urge you to try to stay home, keep your loved ones home, and only go out if it's an essential trip. Thanks, Josue.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, we have additional question. Will Village Code permit to have RVs parked roadside or on their property? If so, can they stay near their families? I think this question specifically regarding a program that's called the RVs for MDs, which is to set up healthcare and first responders and other essential workers with a housing accommodation that allow them to be separate from their families, so that as to not expose the family members. I will need to get back to you on this question. I will need to discuss the matter with a zoning administrator. Okay, that's it for questions. Any parting words from my colleagues? Okay. All right, with that, we're gonna close the town hall. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, residents, for joining us for another virtual town hall. And I want to remind everyone that please see us as a resource. We're here to help. We've made various platforms available to you for you to stay connected with us and with others. So should you need any assistance, there's many ways you can engage us. So if you need anything, please don't hesitate to do so. And with that, I want to wish you a good night. Take care.